we are mainly focusing on the neck and the upper back, because a lot of the muscles of our neck are also muscles that move our shoulder blades, which oftentimes we will kind of connect to our upper back muscles. I will say at the beginning of this class, if something does not feel right, find something that does feel right, right? So in other words, if you are feeling a lot of tension in the back of your neck, or if you feel these muscles kind of bulge, like if you were to crunch up your jaw a lot and you feel those muscles kind of pop out, just maybe adjust the intensity. You can always unmute and ask questions if you have questions. But tonight we have 2 blocks, a foam roller, and an elastic band, and the option for a dumbbell or a kettlebell. And we're going to start today sitting at the wall, so up against a wall, and you can bring your blocks with you. So we're going to sit with our back right up against the wall. And if this starts out as challenging, you can either lift up onto a blanket or you can sit on a block. We're going to sit close enough that, and you can also use your band. This sometimes helps with core contraction. So the first thing we're going to do is take our ribs, so the bottom of our rib cage, towards the wall. And then if you have a ponytail like I do, you might put your ponytail a little higher on your head so you can actually feel the back of your head on the wall. So first thing, just find where you can move your rib cage towards the wall, the bottom of the rib cage. It might not be flush with the wall, but moving in the direction of the wall and the back of your head. And then you're going to take your first finger, and right where that dent is between your bottom lip and your chin, you're going to bring your finger into that dent and just simply push the finger. And you may feel that the back of your head, kind of where your hairline meets your neck, starts to move towards the wall. And then bring the chin back out to meet the finger, and just do that a few times. So push the chin with your finger, moving the bottom of your hairline towards the wall, and then move it away. And each time you might get a little bit deeper. Something else that you might start to realize that you do is that your rib cage starts to flare away from the wall. So be mindful of also trying to keep your rib cage towards the wall. And once you have that with your finger, take, if you have your band with you, take it between your hands, palms facing up, and just gently pull the band apart. You can hold it right on the tops of your thighs. It's going to help to engage the core. And then imagine that you're using your finger again to push your chin in, and feel the back of your neck get long and the bottom of your hairline push towards the wall. And sometimes I refer to this as creating lots of chins. You know, we have a double chin. You can even try to create like a triple chin. So this is engaging these deep neck flexors that actually will help us prevent that head forward position that so many of us here causes so much neck and shoulder tension. So keep pulling the band, and this time as you bring your chin in, look down with your eyes at the top of the chest, and then roll your forehead towards your chest. The head will come off the wall, and then stack back up, thinking that you're going to stack one vertebrae at a time, and then let the chin go slightly forward. And do that a couple of times. First, start by pushing the chin in, back of the head on the wall, and then peel the back of the head away from the wall. Maybe you feel your chin reach that little notch at the top of your sternum or your breastbone. And you'll feel the top of your back kind of get a nice stretch. Okay. Peel one time up. And then this time, as we go down, we're going to again pull the band, feel our core engage. Rib cage stays near the wall. Peel the back of the head off the wall. And then graze your chin along your right collarbone until you're looking down at your right shoulder with your eyes. Roll back towards that notch and then go to the left. Rock back to the notch and pile the vertebrae back up, head back up. Do that again. So pull your band, draw your chin in and up, peel the vertebrae off the wall without lifting the ribs off the wall. Take the chin towards your right shoulder. Take it back to center, take it to the left shoulder. Come back to center, lift up, release the band, and just let your neck go. So you can go from that side to side, but without so much of the thought of the chin in and up. Just let the tension go. Good. Now take your finger and you're going to place the finger on the crown of your head. Remember the ballerinas of the jewelry boxes that always had their fingers on the top of their head? Take your finger on the top of your head, back of the head, back on the wall, nose is looking forward, and just turn your head around the tip of your finger, right? So your chin stays parallel to the floor. Head turns side to side as if it's turning on the top of a steak. Right? So you're avoiding the head going, ear going side to side, or the chin going down towards the chest. You're just feeling as if your skull is rotating on the top of an axis point. So chin stays parallel to the ground and goes side to side. Good. Let that go. And now bring your finger right to the tip of your nose. And your nose is not going to move away from the tip of your finger. You're going to tilt your ear now shoulder to shoulder. So we have the tip of our nose just twisting on the tip of our finger. And we're going lateral side bend, side to side. So as we move through the class, I'm going to step away from the wall so you can see. We have several movements that the neck makes. We have the lateral side to side. So that's with the finger on the nose and the ears go side to side. Oftentimes we'll combine it and do this. Not wrong, but can you just go side to side? Then we have rotation, which is that ballerina where the chin stays parallel to the floor. The neck or the skull is twisting on the axis point of your spine. And again, your chin's not dropping side to side. And then if you stick your fingers in your ears and go down and up, that's that chin going in and up, and your fingers or your ears are rotating on your fingers without your fingers moving. And when we combine all those things, we get the full rotation. Cool. So we're going to start with opening up our rib cage, because our rib cage is kind of the basis of stabilization for our neck. So we're going to use a foam roller. And if this is too much, you can put a blanket on top of your foam roller. But this area right here, underneath your armpit, is going to lie across the foam roller. You have a block or a blanket for your head. So you want to start, position it right, not in your armpits, but right underneath your armpit, kind of in line with the tip of your shoulder blade. Your arm should lie above the foam roller. And then you can position your block at any level that it supports your head comfortably. So if it needs to be up higher, you can do that. If at any time you feel you have a little bit more space, you can bring it down lower. And we're going to start by stacking the top hip on top of the bottom hip. So you're not leaning back, you're not leaning forward, which is going to put us right on the side of the rib cage. And take your hand and place it on your hip. And now we're going to move into the breath. So consciously breathe into the foam roller. Again, if the foam roller is too intense, you can put a blanket over the foam roller. That will decrease the intensity. So take 3 full breaths, trying to breathe into the foam roller and feel it expand on the other side of your rib cage. And after 3 breaths, take your hand now to the rib cage and take 3 more breaths. Consciously expanding the side of the rib cage on the foam roller into it. Feel how it moves into the hand. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And take the hand behind your head, elbow pointing straight up towards the sky. And if any of these arm moves makes it too intense, you can just stay where you were before. And you're still taking those 3 conscious breaths at each level. And then reach the hand up towards the sky. So extend the elbow and reach your hand straight up above your shoulder. 3 more breaths. And then the last time, bring your arm over your ear, letting your hand fall towards the floor. The elbow can bend. Good. And bring the elbow back, or bring the hand back down to the hip. Use your hand out in front, roll forward to press yourself back up. And then we're going to have our bands. We're still going to have the foam roller. We're going to roll over onto our belly. You have 2 areas that you can put your foam roller. Down is a little bit more intense. It is awesome to open up the bottom of the thorax or the bottom of the rib cage. But if having it on your bottom of your rib cage is too intense, you can put it at your chest level. So you're going to come down, and again, you can use the blanket as well. So you can either have it at the bottom of your rib cage or at the top of your chest. You're going to take the bands, and before you get too far into this, you might watch. I'm going to bring the band right at the kind of bottom of my hairline and right above my ears. So in this position, elbows are on the floor. Foam roller distance if it's a shorter foam roller, otherwise they're shoulder distance apart. And we're going to first start by just shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears and then drawing the shoulder blades down the back. As you take the shoulder blades down the back, you're going to feel your head press into the band. Shoulder blades come up towards the ears. And then as you take the shoulder blades down your back, press the back of your head into the band. And keep doing this. What you're going to notice is this automatically takes your chin in towards your throat, like we did with the finger when we were at the wall, pushing the finger into that chin cleft. So you're going to feel the back of the neck get long as it presses up into the band. And do that just a couple of more times. You shouldn't feel any tension on the front of your neck. This is building strength deep in the deep neck flexors, which should actually help to reduce that neck tension we feel in the back and in those more superficial side neck muscles. Good. Go ahead and release the band, and we're going to flip over and do the other side of the rib cage. So again, right below your armpit, kind of where the bottom tip of your shoulder blade is. Align the foam roller. Have your block for your head at whatever height is comfortable. Knees can just bend out in front of you, and start with your hand on your hip. And take 3 deep breaths into where you feel the foam roller underneath your rib cage. And you may find that one side is more sensitive than the other. This is really normal. Just kind of make a note of it. And go ahead and bring it up to the rib cage. And as you breathe into the rib cage on the roller, feel how your hand moves with the breath moving into that side rib cage as well. Then bring the hand behind the head, elbow pointing straight up towards the sky. So if you feel it pointing forward, maybe roll your chest open a little bit so you're more on the side of the rib cage. I'm a lot tighter on this side. And then arms straight up towards the sky. And then allow the arm, if it's comfortable, to reach over your ear, elbow bends, fingers fall towards the floor. Good. Release the hand back onto the hip, then start to roll forward. Use your hands to press yourself up. We're not going to use the foam roller this time, but we're going to repeat what we did, but this time on our bellies. So come down onto your belly. Tuck your chin in towards your throat so the forehead is on the floor. Place the band right at your hairline and above your ears. And then bring your elbows close to your body and come up onto your forearms. Allow your shoulders to move up towards your ears. And as you take the shoulder blades down the back, push the back of the head into the band. Let the shoulder blades relax and go up towards the ears. Press the elbows down, press the back of the head into the band to move your chest further away from the floor. And do that a few more times. So what we really want to feel is what it feels like to keep the chin in and the back of the neck long as you lift your chest away from the floor. So this way we're lifting without that head forward position, and the neck feels really strong and stable because the spine is long and supported. And then remove the band and see if you can create that same lift without the band there. So up on elbows, lift your chest and your belly away from the floor, and imagine pushing the back of your head up into the band and feeling the shoulder blades and move down the back and the spine move up towards the sky. Good. Stack your hands, rest your forehead on your hands, and just gently rock your head side to side. Notice how your neck feels. And again, throughout this entire practice, just remember, if something feels wrong, this is the neck. Listen to your body. Feel free to ask questions if you want. Or change so that you feel less tension. And then go ahead and come up. If you have a longer foam roller, you won't need the additional block. If you have a short foam roller, you're probably going to have to set your block beneath the foam roller. We're going to have our band close by. And we're going to sit in front of either a long foam roller or the block if you have a shorter foam roller. And you're going to lift your hips up onto the block. and position your spine down your foam roller. You want to make sure that your head is resting on the foam roller. And take both arms up towards the sky. You can use your finger to push your chin towards your throat to lengthen the back of the neck, or maybe you know what that sensation feels like now, so you can find it. And we're going to first start by drawing circles with our arms. So reach your arms over your head, so biceps beside your ears, thumbs point down, and then make circles out to the side with your arms. Thumbs point up as they touch your hips, and then come back up. And we're going to go 3 times in that direction. So as you're making these large circles, we're balancing, we're using core on the foam rollers, trying to keep the back of the rib cage moving towards the foam roller so ribs don't flare. And then draw circles the other way. So hands go down, palms point up as you make the circle, and then thumbs point back as you come up. And do that 2 more times. So keeping the spine nice and steady. Back of the neck long the whole time. We're just moving the shoulders. The next time you bring the arms up, stay up. Reach your fingertips high, feeling the backs of the shoulders lift further away from the floor. And then imagine that your shoulder blades could hug around the foam roller. So lift away. And then as if you could squeeze the foam roller with your shoulder blades. And do that a couple of more times. Notice if you're trying to move your head or your neck, and try to keep this movement just in the shoulder blades. So chin stays in, back the neck stays long. Reach up. This time, right arm goes up and out, left arm goes down and out. So like you're making an X with your arms. And then switch. And do that a couple of more times. So it's like you're tracing the letter X with each of your arms. Good. Now bring both arms down beside your body. Lift up onto your toes. Tuck your chin in towards your throat and just lift your left foot off the ground. Knee comes above your hip, and then tap your left toe down. Switch to the right. Tap the right foot down. Exhale, lift your left. You can always use candle's breath, so blowing out through your lips with your exhale to add a little bit more engagement of the core. If you're having a hard time finding that stability, to lift and lower one leg. If this is relatively easy, you can bring your feet closer together. That's going to make it a little bit more challenging. And if it's still relatively easy, you can take your arms up over your shoulders. You want to keep your spine really still. It's really easy to kind of sense that with the foam roller. And then if this is still easy, you can bring your arms over your head. Good. Release both feet to the ground. Release the arms stacked beside your ground. Roll over for a second and watch. So come up to watch. We're going to allow our head to fall off the back of the foam roller. And if you watch how I'm getting there, it's very slow. So I am kind of sensing how my neck feels as I drop it back off the edge of the foam roller. And maybe your head touches the floor, maybe it doesn't. But once you get there, you're going to turn your head like you're the ballerina with the finger on the top of your head. Drawing a line with your nose on the wall that is that your eyes are looking at. If it's behind you, kind of. I don't know what direction that is. If it's your vision, it's in front of you. So go ahead and try that if you're not already. The back of the neck is still supported slightly by the foam roller. You may be feeling a slight massage. The next time you turn your head to the right, stay to the right. Turn your eyes down towards your nose and then lift your head to look at your right armpit. Slowly take your chin towards your throat to lower it back down. And then roll like you're that ballerina with your finger on your head. And the head, if you ever want to put the finger there as kind of a reminder, I like it. And the next time you turn your head to the left, turn your eyes first to your shoulder. See if you can find your shoulder and then lift your chin to your collarbone. Good. Slowly release it back. Go all the way to the right. Tuck chin towards your collarbone. Lift. Drop it back. Ballerina over to the left. Gaze first. Look first. Chin towards left collarbone. Drop it back. Pause. And just let any tension you're feeling go. And then slowly start to walk your hips back until the bottom of your hairline feels supported by the foam roller. And bring your arms down beside your hips. Really push your chin towards your throat. And again, if using the finger helps this, do it. And think that you're going to take your forehead, tap the top of your forehead. That part of your head is going straight up towards the sky. Look between your knees. Roll up. Keep the chin in. Roll one vertebrae at a time back down. Chin in towards your throat. Forehead towards the sky. So chin doesn't go up. Chin goes down. Forehead goes up, look between your knees. Keep the chin in, roll back down. Good. 2 more times. So really tuck the chin in. If it helps to tap the forehead, tap the forehead. Use that to roll up and roll back down. Do that a couple more times on your own. And whatever gives you that sensation that you're really tucking your chin in and forehead leads, it should be creating less tension in those muscles on the front of your neck that kind of bulge out sometimes when we do core work. So if you feel those, and you can even bring your hands to them to see, are they like hyper tensing as you're crunching up? The more you roll the chin in and lead with the forehead, the less that will happen. Awesome. Go ahead and come all the way up. One more thing with the foam roller. So this time we're going to have the foam roller this length. Were you able to feel less tension in these muscles with that awareness of engaging those really deep hip neck flexors? Hopefully. Okay. So come back down. I'm going to give the neck a little bit of massage before we start to use it again. So foam roller right at the hairline. You should feel that this automatically tucks your chin in towards your throat. You can use your hands to hold the foam roller still and just allow your head to go side to side. Feel it kind of massage that hairline. Oftentimes, this is a place where we sometimes get tension headaches. The next time you roll your head to the right, stay to the right and just nod your head yes. You may feel the edge of your ear kind of on the foam roller. And then keep your head turned to the right. Bring your hands down beside your hips. Walk your feet a little closer, and we're going to lift slowly up into a bridge, allowing the foam roller to come lower onto the top of the shoulder. And you can kind of rock up and down to massage the upper trap. The neck's just relaxed. Just let it be still on the foam roller. And then slowly lower the hips back down, rock a little side to side a few times. You may feel a nice difference between your right and your left. And rock your head to the left so that your ear is touching the foam roller and nod your head yes. And then stay with your head tucked or chin tucked, hands down beside your hips. Slowly lift your hips off the ground and roll back so that the foam roller is now more on the tops of your shoulders. And now massaging into your left upper trap. Just allow the neck to relax. So you can allow the head to fall back towards the floor. It won't be anywhere near the floor, but just letting it fall back that way. And then lower the hips. And one last time, roll the head side to side. To come off of this, roll to either side and press up. So we're done with the foam roller, so you can move that out of the way. We're going to roll now onto our backs and allow the back of the head to relax on the floor and just notice how this feels. Keep the back of the head on the floor, lift your left knee above your hip and then your right knee above your hip. Take the arms out like you're holding a big stability ball between your hands. So heels are in slightly, knees are slightly wider than your hips. Tuck your chin in towards your throat and start to tap one foot and then the other. So as you exhale, lower your right heel. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, lower your left heel. Inhale, bring it back up. And after you have that, bring both feet back up, chin towards throat, lift the head off the floor, how we've been lifting. So forehead moves towards the floor, chin in towards your throat, looking right between your thighs at your lower belly, and now tap again. So keeping the chin tucked and the back of the neck long, really stretch the back of your neck. Good. Last time with your left. Chin rolls in as you bring the head back to the floor. Lower your right arm down to the side. Lower your left leg out to the side. And reach with your left arm over and roll onto your right elbow. So coming kind of into a modified side plank. And then keep your chin in and long and roll back. So we're going to do that a few times. What we're really focusing on is, can we keep that neck long, chin tucked, right arm reaches out, right leg, start to reach with your left arm. Try not to move your head. Just roll onto your side with your neck staying in line with your spine. Good. Roll back. And practice that a few times. Try not to lead with your head. Keep your neck in line with your spine. So think of that chin tucked, neck long. And your hip and your shoulder are moving at the same time. So basically your spine is staying in one long, stabilized line. And the next time you roll up onto your right side, stay on your right side. Stack your left knee on top of your right, and stack your left hip on top of your right hip. Chin and neck long. So oftentimes, when we're in the side plank, we will turn our heads in all kinds of interesting directions. So see if you can find chin and neck long. And sometimes I like to take my thumb to my heart and find my chin with the tips of my fingers. And then keep it there, or maybe bring your hand behind your head and lift up into a side plank. If you have your hand behind your head, you can press your hairline into your hands and then lower down. Reach the elbow straight up, so stack the shoulders and lift the hips. Come up into modified side plank. And again, if you have your hand behind your head, push your hairline into your hand, chin in, neck long. Come down. One more time, lift up. Good. Lower down. Come up onto your right hand. And come up into a 90-90 position. So right knee is in line with your right hip. And your left leg is behind you. So whatever position is comfortable, that you can sit up in an upright position. Bring your hands to your sides and find a long spine. You can sit up on a block if you can't find a long spine. So if you can't find the spine straight, lift up onto a block. Fingertips to the floor. Bring your hand behind your head. Push your hairline into your hand and rotate your spine towards your right hand. And then rotate open. Gaze up towards your left elbow. So trace a line with your nose as you turn towards your right hand. Nose points towards your right hand. And as you rotate away from your right hand, nose points up towards your elbow. Good. Come back to center. And we're going to come up onto our left knee with our right knee out in front. And if you have a weight, this is where you'll use the weight. If you don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. So right knee is forward, left knee is on the ground. If you have a weight, you're going to hold it in your left hand. And that will be slightly destabilizing to this left side. So you're going to start by lifting your left shoulder up towards your left ear. And you're going to turn your head, nose straight off to the right, and then nose to the sky. And you're going to let the bell or the weight pull your shoulder away from your ear. You're going to draw a line with your nose down towards the ground. And then turn your chin towards your left collarbone. Good. Lift your left shoulder up. Turn your nose back to center. And then turn it all the way over, looking over your right shoulder. And then turn your nose towards the sky. And then drop the left arm towards the floor. So fist punching towards the floor or weight pulling you down. Drop your nose towards your right shoulder and then let it turn all the way to your left shoulder. We're going to do that one more time. Lift your left shoulder as high as it'll go. Turn your nose towards your right shoulder, and then turn your nose towards the sky. Feel that tension between your shoulder and your ear, and then let the left fist punch towards the floor, or the weight pull it down. Nose turns down towards the floor, and then chin goes over towards your left shoulder. Go ahead and drop the weight off. Bring your chin in towards your throat. Tuck your left toes under. And if you need to lean forward to do that, you can do that. Tuck your chin in, and you're just going to lift up to a high lunge. And if it helps, it's amazing how much neck stability can help with balance. So if it helps to bring your thumb right in line with this notch of your sternum and the finger on your chin to help you to remind to keep the back of the neck long, we're going to do 5 lunges. And if you think chin in, neck long, it helps to keep the entire spine and a stable and steady and facing forward. And you don't have to go really deep. Just see how low you can go with that stable spine. Good. Go ahead and step the back foot up. And bring your arms over your head. Bend your knees to fold forward. Bring your hands either to a block or to the floor. Let the head hang. And shake your head yes. Shake your head no. You can think of your fingertip on the crown of your head. So you've got that ballerina neck going. And then walk your hands forward and come into a downward facing dog. You can be on hands and knees if down dog is not something you're comfortable with. If you're in down dog, glide your shoulder blades up and down your back. So shrug them up towards your ear and then take them down your back. There's loosening up some of those upper back muscles or shoulder blade moving muscles. If you are on hands and knees, you can take your shoulders and squeeze them towards the spine and then pull them away from the spine. Good. Come back into child's pose if that's comfortable for you. And you can either rest your forehead on the floor or rest your forehead on a block and just allow your head to move side to side. Good. And let's roll back onto our back. So move anything out of the way. We're going to repeat all of this on the other side. So roll on your back. Chin in towards your throat, ribs towards the floor. Lift one leg and then the other above your hips. Knees are slightly wide, heels are slightly closer together. And then take your arms like you're holding that big stability ball. Keep the chin in and towards the throat, back of the neck long. Tap one foot and then the other. And as you're doing this, you're monitoring. Is your pelvis staying still? Is your rib cage flaring away from the floor? And are you jutting your chin towards the ceiling? So that connection between the deep flexors in our neck that keep our chin in are similar to the deep stabilizers of your lower back, your core. And when one is on and the other's on, we feel a lot more stable throughout our spine. Good. Bring both up. Let's take the left arm out to the side. Take the left leg out to the side. Keep chin in, back of the neck long. Reach with your right arm and come up onto your left elbow, trying to keep your chin in. So the back of the neck long. Yep. Roll back down. And do that a few more times. So can you keep your spine relatively steady, relatively stable as you roll up onto your left elbow? So the whole body basically moves as one unit. And what will often happen is that we'll feel like we have to pull with our neck and push our chin forward. And that's going to create that instability throughout the entire spine. So try to keep neck long. Next time you come up, stay up. And we're going to stack the left knee on top of the right. Elbow under shoulder, shoulder on top of shoulder, hand on top of hip or behind the head, or if it helps to have kind of that prayer hand with your fingers pulling your chin in, you can have that as well. And you're going to lift up into the side plank. So lift the bottom hip into the top, lift up, chin in, back of the neck long, push the back of your head into your fingertips, lower back down. Good. Lift up. Stretch through the crown of your head. So notice what your tendency is. What do you usually do with your neck? Can you keep your neck in a straight line with the rest of your spine as you lift up and down? One more time. Stretch the back of the neck. Notice if your chin's going forward or you're rounding your upper back. Try to keep your spine long. Lower back down. And then we're going to come up into that 90-90 set. So a little stretch for our hips as we continue to work on our neck. Again, if you need to sit on the block, feel free to prop your hip up on the block. Left fingertips in line with your hip, hand behind your head, chin in. And draw a line with your nose, gazing down at your left hand. And then drawing a line nose as you gaze up at your elbow. So think of your head kind of rotating on the top of like a shish kebab. So we're not trying to tweak our neck in any other direction. We have that kind of ballerina neck going, twisting on top of the axis of your spine. Okay. And we're going to come into the kneeling position. This is where if you have a weight, you can use a weight. Otherwise, you can just think of punching up and squeezing up. So kneeling on your right knee, left knee is forward. Hold the bell or the weight in your right hand, or just punch the fist towards the floor. And feel that space between your ear and your shoulder. And then slowly scrunch your shoulder up towards your ear. Turn your nose towards your left shoulder and then up towards the sky. So you're going to feel that that space between your neck and your shoulder is really short. And then you're going to let the arm punch down towards the floor, or the bell or the weight, hold it down. And then you're going to take nose down towards the floor and then take your nose towards your right shoulder. Scrunch your shoulder up. Draw a line with your nose over to your left shoulder and then nose towards the sky. Crunch up between, so engage the muscle. And then let the arm go down, releasing the shoulder away from the ear. Nose towards the floor. And then draw a line with your nose over towards your right shoulder. One more time, lift the shoulder high. Turn your nose away, so towards your left shoulder, and then nose towards the sky. Try to crunch that muscle. And then punch or let the weight pull the shoulder blade down. Nose towards the floor. And then turn the nose towards the right shoulder. Release the weight. If you need the block to tuck the back toe under, you can do that. And then we're going to chin and neck long. We're going to lift like we're stretching the crown of the head towards the sky to lift us up. And then keep chin in. If it helps to have that prayer hand at your notch and at your chin, you can do that. But just do 5 lunges to the depth that you're comfortable with. And notice what your neck wants to do. And if you keep the back of your neck long, so the front of your neck engaged, is the lunging a little bit easier? Next time, we're going to step the right foot up. Reach the arms over your head. Bend your knees and fold forward. Hands onto the block or to the floor. Let the crown of your head hang towards the floor. Shake your head yes. So let all of the tension in the neck go. Shake your head no. Maybe even drawing figure 8s with your nose. Roll your shoulders in this down, head down position in one direction and roll them in the other direction. Try to let the neck completely relax. So just let the shoulder blades roll. And then crawl forward again to downward facing dog. Bend your knees to the floor and bring your forearms to the floor. Move your chest away from the floor and tuck your chin in towards your throat. Look between your thighs. Just let your neck round and then go forward. Just let your neck lift. So can you keep the rest of your spine and your shoulders still as you find as much flexion and extension in just your neck? And then come with the nose pointing straight down and draw a line with your nose side to side. So think of the fingertip on the crown of your head and you're rotating your nose side to side. You can keep your knees on the floor or you can lift into elbow dog. Knees bent and shrug your shoulders down and up your back. Let your head just relax. Release the knees to the floor. Release your hips back towards your heels. So coming into that child's pose again, either with your head on the floor or forehead on the block. And let your head roll side to side. Slowly press up to hands and knees. Sit back. And we're going to come back onto our back. Now we're leaving the neck out of it a little bit, moving a little bit more into the shoulders. If it helps to have a block or a blanket for your head, by all means, use it to support your head. Bend your right knee in and hug your knee towards your chest. Straighten the left leg down to the floor. Bring your arms out to the side and take your right knee over to the left side. Your head will turn and then roll it back. Roll the right knee over to the left again, taking it close to the floor to the left, and roll back down. Just a few more times. As you reach your right knee over to the left, reach your right hand behind you. Your right shoulder will come off the floor, but as if it wasn't going to. So try to keep it down. Only let it lift when it has to. The next time you roll your knee over to the left, stay there. Bring the left arm beside your ear and then bring your right arm over your shoulder. So now left knee or right knee is on the ground out in front of you, and right shoulder or right fist is right above your shoulder. Look up at your fist, so turn your head, nose pointing up towards your fist, and you're going to turn your knuckles towards your head. And then you're going to turn your knuckles away from your head to where maybe they face the wall behind you. And then go the other way. So elbows locked out. And what you might start to notice as you roll the fist towards your head, your shoulder blade starts to go down your back a little bit. And as you roll your knuckle away from your head and towards the wall, you'll feel the top of your shoulder blade lift up towards your ear. So feel this connection between the rotation of your arm and how it moves all the way into moving the shoulder blade along your rib cage. Good. Bend the elbow. Drop the elbow behind your back towards the floor behind you and roll back onto your back. Shift the hips back to center as you bend your knees, rest your feet on the floor, roll the head side to side. Straighten your right leg. Bend your left knee in towards your chest, hug the knee in towards your chest. And then straighten your arms out, T to the body. And you're going to start to move your left knee over to the right. Your left shoulder stays behind you, arm stays behind you. And you're trying to move the left knee as close to the floor as possible. And you're just going in and out. So we're creating some rotation in that mid-thoracic region. The left shoulder blade is staying as close to the floor as possible as you try to take the left knee towards the floor to the right. You can allow your neck to move wherever it's comfortable. And the next time you take the knee over to the right, you're going to take your right arm, lie it beside your block, beside your ear. You're going to go all the way so that the knee touches the floor, and then stack your left shoulder on top of your right shoulder. So you're lying on your right side and your fist is directly above your shoulder. You're going to turn your head to look up towards your fist and then turn your knuckles, so your fingers, to face your head. Feel your shoulder blade kind of glide down your back. Elbow stays straight. Start to turn your knuckle away from your head and then perhaps facing the wall behind you. Feel your shoulder blade glide up. And then keep doing that. So the straighter the arm is, the more connection you're going to make into the shoulder blade. And those muscles of the shoulder blade are connected to our neck, several of them, not all of them, but several of them. So oftentimes tension that we feel in our neck is because of tension in some of these muscles that control the shoulder blade. Continue to look up at the knuckle, and then you're going to roll back onto your back and bring both arms down to the side. Turn your head a little side to side. Take the arms out, T to the body. As you turn your head towards your right hand, turn your left palm down and your right palm up. Feel the shoulder roll off, the left shoulder roll off the ground. And then as you turn your head to the left, left palm goes up, right palm goes down. Allow that to happen a few times, just to release any additional tension you have in your shoulders or your neck. If you have the block under your head, you may feel that the edge of the block is massaging in that region where we often hold tension in the back of the neck. If it's on the floor, you just feel the ease of movement. And then wrap your arms around your chest, grabbing on with your fingers to the opposite shoulder blade, and just rock a little side to side that way. So we have learned how to lift our head to come off the floor. So bring your arms down. If you want to use your finger to push your chin towards your chest, do that. Look between your thighs, low towards your pubic bone, lift your head, roll up, and come to a seated position. And anything that you need at this point in time, just to feel how your shoulders feel how your neck feels. This is the conclusion of a little bit of bringing awareness to what I like to call the neck core, so that we have less tension in the back of our neck and more strength in the front of our neck. So